Hey everybody, welcome to RumblenBreaks. It's F1 Sundays, and it's great to be back after a, I guess, 3-month holiday. I've got Dr. F1 joining me via remote. How are you doing, Dr. F1?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, so something brand new this year. I'm gonna show you guys. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys. We have an F1 team this year, fantasy team. We're gonna actually talk through some of the strategies. Would love your input as to how you think we should play this team. It's got 3 teams, and with the magic of video editing, I'm back here. So we got a fantasy team. We'll talk to you through some of the strategies involved, but firstly, we want to go through the recap. It was. I don't know. Did you like the race? I thought it was kind of meh. But overall, it was interesting just to see how the cars played out. Qualifying was interesting. Practice was interesting. To see Lance Stroll. I think for quite a while there, I actually thought Drogovic was actually going to have a chance at driving, but Lance Stroll took the place.
I think Drogovic thought he was going to have a chance at driving.
He seemed pretty upset. But let's go through the podium. Who won? And not surprised. Well, surprisingly, Fernando Alonso and the Aston Martin. What the heck happened? I think.
Well, let's talk about this. Aston Martin, they've built a car that's a duplicate, if you will, of Red Bull's strategy with a Mercedes engine. So does this say that if Mercedes had a Red Bull-esque car with their engine, they'd also be in contention? Because, that thing had a rocket on it, and it's not a joke to think that Fernando may be in the hunt for his 3rd World Championship.
I think it would have been. I think him with Drogovic would have been good, but not to discredit Lance Stroll.
Listen, driving with basically 2 broken wrists after 2 weeks after surgery is crazy. I broke my wrist and it took me 8 weeks to recover from it. Right. I don't think I'm getting behind an F1 car. And he did it in 2.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But I don't know. Number 2, we had Perez.
Perez. It was funny in the cool down room because with having Fernando in there, I heard them. They were exchanging discussions in Spanish, and Max was just like, "What?"
He probably understands. I don't know. Maybe he does understand it because he is Dutch. So, and last but not least, he's got the number 1 finger, Max Verstappen. I don't know if Fernando Alonso. I actually know that Fernando Alonso probably wouldn't be in the podium had Leclerc not actually broken down.
I don't know if that's true though, because listen. He got past Sainz legitimately, and Sainz and Leclerc, Ferraris are not good at managing their tires, and they were struggling, right? They were definitely struggling. That Sainz held on to keep Hamilton in 5th. Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. But let's get breaking, and we can keep chatting about the race. So yeah, I watched a good. I watched all the race, but there were scenes where it was really interesting where you saw Fernando Alonso fight Lewis Hamilton. For the overtakes were just insane, incredible.
Well, and listen, both Alonso and Hamilton were that was super fun. I heard a lot of drivers that were up in the top that not the ones that were struggling obviously, but a lot of people had fun in that race. Hamilton had fun, Alonso had fun. I heard some of the guys, Pierre Gasly had a lot of fun. He flew from the back to the front. He should not have been that low.
Yeah, I thought his race was over at the start. But he was insanely good. Who really had
him in the fantasy team? You just got a ton of points.
Oh yeah.
All the overtakes.
Oh yeah, but who had a really crap day? Ocon. It wasn't his fault. It was his team that let him down. Alpine, I have no idea.
It could go wrong, went wrong.
Yeah.
Everything.
So we got Dan Ticktum and Charles Leclerc. Yeah, everything that went wrong. Charles Leclerc, we got this card here, and
no, that's all you hear from him.
Yeah, his car just stops, and I'm like, oh no, I have him on my number 1 fantasy team, where it's actually there's actually dollars in it, and I got hit hard, and Günther Steiner, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. It has had a less than stellar day, but honestly, I don't know. Like, I think they do have a good car. I think they just had some stuff not go their way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lewis Hamilton checkered flag. Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, and Esteban Ocon. He's like giving the thumbs up, but he's really crying on the inside for this race. Anyway, like how many penalties did he get because his team just like messed up? Like unbelievable.
Point like 0.1 of a second, like inside or outside of the guys for that one penalty, and he just.
Well, I think it started in where he stopped. I mean, if he didn't sort of misfire in how he lined up, and actually people thought that he did pretty well, and from the lineup. So like they didn't know. It was weird, and like I mean, who else was yeah, I mean, like who else was good was Albon. I mean, Albon was fantastic.
Ooh, but Sargent was only 2 behind him. They only had Tsunoda in between them. So,
yeah.
I mean, Sargent also had an amazing day too.
Yeah, as a rookie, he had a fantastic.
Williams as a whole, wow, like had a good. I think the reality of this season is, I don't think there is really. There's a bottom, but I don't think there really is a bottom. I think that there are legitimate contenders. That like the midfield is all just really close. I don't really think there's like a lower level group and then the midfield and the top. Like I think you have 4 legitimate top teams and then a ton of the rest of them that are close.
Yeah.
Bottas looked great. Zhou looked well less than stellar, but I mean he had some challenges, but he looked good in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean
who else had McLaren had a bad day?
Oh my gosh, McLaren is just awful. Hey, we hit something. We hit a Ralph Beauchamp from an F2. So I initially, when we talked about it, I thought he was like, oh my gosh, he's a rookie, but like he's actually like he's like 25 years old. He's been in the league for like 8 years, and he was fighting a second year. He's got his first win yesterday. He came in second today, like Ralph Beauchamp. And and we got Yuri Vips. He actually disappeared out of F2 because I didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
And we got Latifi's checkered flag, the GOAT.
Oh no, the GOAT's still around? We thought we got rid of him?
And we actually hit something big. We hit a bookend of Lewis Hamilton, 1 out of 99. I'm going to put a sleeve in that one. I'm going to put that one in the sleeve, so...
While you do that, you know what's something else that's interesting about the Bahrain race that I didn't know till recently? Apparently there's a winner's curse.
Oh, really? So, you don't win twice?
So the person who wins the Bahrain race is not world champion. So of the last 7 years, including Hamilton winning, like when Max won 2 years ago in 2021, when he won the world championship for the first time, Hamilton was the one who won the Bahrain race, the third Bahrain last year. So if that holds true,
Fernando Alonso is going to be your number one.
Well, I mean, it could be Perez too. But my point is that Max Verstappen, as happy as he was winning this race, probably didn't want to win this race.
Because he's like, because I think this is the first time he's ever won this race. I think it's based on what you just said, yeah.
And I'm just saying, it's a curse of the
winner.
The winner. Well, actually, no, he's won this race before. I think.
No, this is his first time. I think from what the commentators are saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Robert Schwartzman. He's now commentating. Matteo Manini. He's taken over Nick DeVries for the commentary.
Yeah, and Drogovic too. They have him on a lot.
Yeah, Lando Norris. What the heck happened to McLaren? Like 18 laps, and he had 2 pit stops because of mechanical error. And then Piastri. I felt so bad for Piastri being his first race and having his gearbox screw up. It's just unbelievably awful. Like it's not.
They're like, oh, it's the steering wheel, and I'm like, I don't think it's the steering wheel.
It's you, it's you, McLaren. Like,
listen, if there's any team that has a real problem, it's McLaren. Like they didn't look good in winter testing. They didn't look good in this week in practice. Like if they don't bring some fixes, upgrades next week, then it was never Danny Rick.
Yeah, it's all McLaren. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was unbelievable. There you got no, it's Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll again. Like if you watch the cutaway scenes and you see Felipe Drogovic, he's got this fake smile going, oh man, I should really be in there. Like Lance Stroll couldn't put his finger in the steering wheel hole to actually turn the car, and like off the bat when I was watching the race, like he hit Fernando. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what are you doing? Like this,
Yeah.
like it scared the crap out of me. But he finished in what, sixth place? Like, it was unbelievable.
He hit Fernando, and it didn't stop Fernando's car. Like, that car had traction. That car was a beast that survived like the hits. Like, wow.
You actually heard Fernando go, "I love this car. This car is amazing."
He loves this. He loves the
He
car.
really loves the car.
He tastes his third world championship.
Oh, you got Frederick Versailles. It's definitely the car. Like, I talked to a few Ferrari fans, and it's just like, yeah, it's the car. It's just awful. It's not management.
Speaking of team principals, you know who you're going to hear a lot from this year? Your favorite, Mike Crack.
Mike Crack.
Because he's Aston Martin's team principal.
Who doesn't want to hear from Mike Crack? Well, I mean, we got one more pack left. And, you know, how did the rookies do? Piastri.
Well, okay, so Sargent finished top of the rookies.
He did. But De Vries wasn't too far behind. I mean, De Vries was in 14.
Right behind him.
He was in 14.
He had an okay race, and then Piastri's the only one who took the hit.
Yeah, I mean, he killed me in the fantasy pool. Like, it was awful. But like in it, but you also have, like, you know, the super sub who's now permanent, Nico Hulkenberg. You know, I think there's a lot of people that love Hulkenberg.
Their fantasy pool. Listen, the best combination you could do for fantasy pool based on everything was Red Bull, Aston Martin, double Red Bull drivers, double Aston Martin drivers, and then whoever else you could afford, usually Nico Hulkenberg.
Well,
however, strategically, is that really the smartest thing to do? Because by doing that, Aston Martin's dollar value is going to go up a lot, but I don't think Red Bull's will. Like, I think it's already been set up high, and you want to make a lot of money early.
It's interesting because, like, when you look at the completed status, so I was trying to figure out if you know, picking constructor was actually better than picking the actual like because Aston Martin was cheap, right, versus the drivers, and the strategy didn't quite work out. Yeah, the strategy didn't quite work out, and it was just, I don't know, like I think it's because Aston Martin was just cheap enough that allowed you to afford more things. Like, I tried a Ferrari Mercedes strategy from a constructor, and, you know, I think if Leclerc had actually done well, that strategy might have paid off. But because Leclerc didn't do well, that's right. Because Mercedes would have been in Mercedes Ferrari would have been 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I think. Right. So
I think the best. I mean, okay, listen. What won me my championship in the pool last year was, you want to spread the wealth around. So the last thing you want to do is be all in on something. So if you go Red Bull, Aston Martin, 2 Red Bull drivers, 2 Aston Martin drivers, and someone else, and something goes wrong, it's negatives all over the place.
Right. I mean,
so you gotta be clever about it and spread the wealth around. I do think it's weird. This year's fantasy pool's weird too. So for those of you who don't know, there's like you pick 2 constructors and 5 drivers, but you also get like these sort of boost chips to get to double your points or triple your points. But you only get, other than the double your points one, all the other chips are like one-offs. So you get to use them once. And some people, like, they pulled out the triple, like the triple times points this first weekend, and they'll never get to use it again. And it's silly because, like, you got sprint weekends where there's like way more points available.
Yeah, I think that's the strategy that not a lot of people caught onto last year. Like I saw on one guy in one of my pools where they put the triple on Leclerc off the bat. So
they just took a triple negative.
They took a triple negative, and like they're pretty much done for the season right off the bat. So it's tough to come back from losing those triples, but it can happen. I mean, all right. So I just opened the pack of 2020, but yeah, like you could definitely like I think the strategy I had with this was I ended up getting 175 point. We ended up getting 175 points for the RumblenBreak's fantasy team. But my team, where I had Aston Martin, Red Bull, and I had Verstappen as double points with Leclerc. I mean, Leclerc sort of lost me, but the rest of it, I still end up with 235 points. I'm not sitting very pretty right now, but we'll come back. It's the first race of the season.
Listen,
we can make it up.
Race. You don't necessarily start strong. You build. You're strategic. So
yeah.
I think the other thing people don't weigh in is if you pick teams that right off the bat, like I said, have a high dollar value, you have less room for them to increase it. Whereas if you pick teams that have lower, like Aston Martin, great pick, Dollar value going to go up a lot. You'll have a lot more money to play with next week.
Right. Well, we just opened Charles Leclerc, and
Shiny.
we got the man on fire himself, Roman Grosjean. That's what I've noticed is a few of the last year's drivers are now in IndyCar, like Marcus Armstrong. Who else do we have behind Grosjean? Oh, Nikita Mazepin. That's an interesting
Lots
card.
in the past.
Yeah. Future stars, not likely. And lastly, we have... Who is this? Another blast from the past, Daniel Kvyat. So...
Oh, that is old.
That is an old... Well, it is a 2020 pack, so it isn't one of the older packs. But yeah, I mean, overall, not too bad. First race of the season. Really great to see a Fernando Alonso on the podium again. I mean, this is the first time on the podium since Qatar in 2021. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let us know what you think. How would you restructure the strategy? What would your strategy be in terms of this new format for the fantasy pool? Let us know what you think. Any final words?
I think this is going to be a very exciting season, and I think I don't think anybody can count on it being a walk in the park for Verstappen.
No, I don't think so. I think all the cars are racy enough. I think all the drivers are skilled enough to make it a very, very interesting season. And I think it could be anybody's season, really.
Yeah, I think there's much more to come. I think this is just the first of 23 races. So
exactly. So, well, let us know what you think. Did you like the race? What do you think the season's gonna look like? Yeah, let us know. Have a great week, folks, and we'll see you in the next race.